upcoming between Abdusalamov and Perez. And you can see that there's a 4-year age advantage for the former Cuban Perez, who now lives in Ireland and loves it. But a height advantage for Abdusalamov. An arm length advantage of 2.5 inches for the fighter from the Dagestan Republic in the nation of Russia. And Perez will outweigh Abdusalamov by just about 4 pounds in the fight.
Two undefeated warriors. Somebody's O has got to go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red with black, official weight 235 3/4 pounds. As a professional, a perfect record, 19 fights, 19 victories, including 12 knockouts, originally from Cuba. Now fighting out of Cork, Ireland, he is the challenger, the undefeated Mike, the Rebel Perez. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with red, officially weighing 231 1/2 pounds. Also, a perfect professional record, 18 fights, 18 victories, 18 knockouts. From Makhachkala, Kazakhstan, the defending champion, the undefeated Magoo, Magomed Abdusalamov.
Second, Mike, let me get some people out of here, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go, let's get them out, let's get them out. Come on, let's get them out, let's get them out. No, get these guys out.
Chief second,
Yep. There you go. All right, let's go. Momento.
Second.
Okay, man, you've already received your pre-bout instructions. Trunk's a little high over here. We're going here. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Give you a nice, clean match. Touch him up. Good luck to both of you.
Mike Perez told us that he has no intention of leaving Ireland. He's Irish now. His children will be Irish. He's Irish Mike Perez, Jim, and maybe his extensive Cuban amateur background can hold off a guy, and Abdusalamov, who sees in Provodnikov, Ruslan Provodnikov, a kindred spirit. He wants to be like a heavyweight Provodnikov.
It's interesting that Perez actually outweighs Abdusalamov coming into the ring, or at least he outweighed him at the weigh-in yesterday, because Perez, when he left Cuba, weighed 201. However, within the first year after he arrived in Ireland, he weighed 244. So obviously this is his preference, Roy. And he may need it tonight.
Yeah, this is his preference, and he definitely will need it tonight, because these guys are exchanging some bombs, and he has already knocked the heck out of Abdusalamov a couple times.
Perez got right in his kitchen and shook him up.
Right away. He's already let him know it's going to be a big fight.
And big left hand by Abdusalamov down the pipe, and now Perez comes back with a couple of shots of his own. Abdusalamov, despite the perfect record, has a habit of slow starts. Jamil McCline, an aging former American contender, knocked him down in the first minute. But Abdusalamov steeled himself, got back into good form, and knocked McCline out in the fourth.
A lot of times that's the case with pressure fighters. They start slow.
Yes.
Heavyweight pressure fighters, especially Joe Frazier and you know, guys like that, would oftentimes take a few rounds to get going.
But Perez hasn't started slow, and he wobbled Abdusalamov with that right hand and has landed some thunderous body shots, Roy.
Yeah, the problem that Perez has, though, is he's stepping up with his left hand. He's stepping that left leg up. He got to be careful of that, because if Abdusalamov can catch him at that time, he may drop him.
Well, whatever winds up happening, it's been terrific so far. And the question as to whether Abel Sanchez, in such a short amount of time, several weeks, could start to affect Mike Perez's temperament in the ring, so far has been answered. It's yes, he's much more
Good
aggressive.
left hook by Perez, and again he wobbles Abdusalamov.
I don't think that's a product of Abel Sanchez. I think that's just the way this kid came up fighting. He said he's had over 300 fights. He's been fighting this way since he first came in the gym.
But not always this aggressively early in the fight.
Well, he had no other choice. Abdusalamov came right at him. How could you run? You can't run from a guy that big that's coming right at you. So that's not by choice. That's by design. He had to do that.
Good left hand and a right hook landed for Abdusalamov. Perez has landed the sharper shots, but Abdusalamov has also gotten in some damage here in round number 1.
And Perez has found that maybe because Abdusalamov has forced him into that kind of fight, he can have real success in this kind of fight.
Yeah, he is.
Low blow for Perez.
The only thing you got to be concerned about here is the long left hand of Abdusalamov, because it seems as though Perez has the better right hook, which was landed to the body right there, and that's very smart to go to the body on a power punch like Abdusalamov. But it seems as though Abdusalamov has the better straight left.
So far, Perez's hand speed advantage has, I think, been the biggest factor in round 1. He's getting off quicker and more sharply.
I see an amateur experience advantage here. Perez lands his shots. It's muscle memory. He doesn't have to think about them.
Well, Abdusalamov don't really have to think about him either. But the thing is, well, we'll see after the next round.
Got to think about those hands that Perez is putting in his world, I'll tell you what.
Remember the point, Roy, and we'll come back to it.
Eso. Let me have a little water.
Get that bucket. Where's the spit bucket? Right here. Buddy, we got it. We got it.
Okay.
Eso, inteligente.
Did he break my nose? Did he break my nose? It looks like I broke my nose. Look at it. Look at it.
Esos volados que tira y los tira alrededor. Usted va hacia por abajo así y listo para darle el counter, ¿verdad? Listo para acá. Listo. El Jeff siempre jugándolo. No lo deje que se acomode. No lo deje que se acomode. Usted primero trabajándolo. Aquí estamos. Ya sabe, haga su trabajo más fuerte con su jab.
Sounded as if our Russian interpreter in Abdusalamov's corner told us that he was asking his cornerman if his nose was broken. And in the first round, Mike Perez threw 96 punches, landing 33 of them. Abdusalamov was 19 out of 59. The heavyweight average is 16 to 45. So both fighters exceeded the heavyweight average in thrown and landed punches. Perez very significantly in round number 1.
What I was about to say here is what you're seeing is a highly elevated amateur fight, a good amateur fight elevated to the professional level. Because in the old days, we didn't get to see the great Cubans fight the great Russians in professional bouts. This is what you're seeing right now.
Something worth waiting for, huh?
You're exactly
and
right.
Not to mention, I don't remember ever seeing two heavyweight southpaw contenders going at it. And maybe we should see more of that if this is an indication of what would happen.
Well, let's take it even a step further. And Abdusalamov is trained by the southpaw John David Jackson.
And that's an interesting matchup because, of course, as we told you before, Jackson was a brilliant defensive stylist as a fighter, is given credit for being an excellent teacher of defense as a trainer, and quite obviously, Abdusalamov is an offensive fighter.
Perez is starting to tire a little bit. And that's the one thing about the Cuban fighters that you always have to be careful of, because they have to learn to make that adjustment to go over 3 or 5 rounds. Abdusalamov doesn't seem to be tiring quite as bad.
No, I think Abdusalamov is starting to warm up.
Well, he started this round with a straight left hand that landed, and I think sent Perez a message that he's not just going to fold it up and fold it in.
And now they're grinning at each other as they trade shots in round number 2. What a showdown in the heavyweight division. Irish Mike Perez against Magoo Abdusalamov.
Oh, Vladimir and Pavyekin are watching.
Yeah, exactly. This is how you fight. Big right hand by Abdusalamov.
Like I said, Abdusalamov has the better right hook, and Abdusalamov has the better overhand left, and Perez has the best right hook. And Perez is doing some really good body work. That's where the amateur background pays off the most at, because Abdusalamov, as you see, is not being reminded to go to the body so much. He's trying to knock him out strictly by the headshots. Whereas you see that Mike Perez, with that Cuban background, is going to his body as much as possible.
And Perez's offense so far has just been crisper and more accurate. They both throw a lot of punches for heavyweights, and they're not pity pads. These guys are throwing hard shots.
Stop, break. Step back, step back, step back.
Abdusalamov has a big heart. For him to drop his hands and say, come on, and thinking that his nose is broke already, what does that tell you about him?
He's breathing through an open mouth, Roy. Is that partially because of the broken nose?
Yes, it is.
Uppercut by Abdusalamov. What action through first 2 rounds.
Sit down, sit down, sit down. Deep breath, deep breath. Walk, get that nose from me, get that nose from me. Come on, man. Deep breath. Listen to me.
When he's going to throw his punches, you throw. Get in close. Get in close. Bring your body in close so he doesn't let his hands go. Take his strength away.
And give me the short combinations.
When he goes up, that's what he wants. He looks for that quick shot.
Listen.
Empieza a agarrar en su fuerza, quítesela, péguesele, dóblese. That's all right.
When you get that punch, move your head. Listen to me. Tell him, move that head.
CompuBox numbers in round 2. They both landed 29. Abdusalamov threw 78, Perez threw 88. Abdusalamov with a 19-13 edge in power connects.
And Abdusalamov is trying his best to change this fight around, Jim. I mean, to have a broke nose and to constantly be coming at a guy who can punch like Mike Perez can says something about your will to win.
Well, Abdusalamov's already turned the fight around in the sense that he just got whooped up in the first round, and the second round was a much closer round.
Much closer.
Another low blow for Perez, and now Benji Esteves is going to talk to him about it.
Come on now.
So I called one in the first round that Esteves ignored. That one was right on the cup, and Esteves talked to Perez. And by the way, let's be clear. We're not doctors. We haven't diagnosed yet with any certainty that he has a broken nose. He thinks he has a broken nose, and it looks like he's got a broken nose.
We're not doctors, but these two guys are fighters. I mean, when was the last time you seen a heavyweight fight like this?
And I think the biggest punch that has to be watched for right now is that overhand left of Abdusalamov. Good body shots by Perez.
Right on the belt line. Those were well placed. Perez once again using his hand speed here to outquick Abdusalamov as they stand near the middle of the ring. Interesting that Abdusalamov hasn't really been able to corner Perez against the ropes or in the corners, Roy. Is it something he should be trying to do?
No, it's nothing he should be trying to do, because most of the Cuban fighters are very difficult to corner anyway at any weight class. So it's not going to happen the way we think it easily could happen, because this guy is a very schooled technician at staying out of corners. Oh, that's what he got to do, land that left hand. That's his best way to try to corner this guy. If he lands that left hand more, because he's the taller fighter, then maybe he'll see some outcome that he likes.
At this point in the fight, this is the first time I've seen Abdusalamov's power bother Perez. He'd landed some shots before, but I didn't see the power starting to bother Perez. I see it now.
Yeah, Perez is starting to tire, like I told you the last round. And that's the one
Big
thing.
left hand for Abdusalamov.
About a muscle-bound fighter like this, sometimes he will tire a little bit. But Abdusalamov is keeping that pressure on him, and I think it's wearing him down just a little.
And now it's Perez who corners Abdusalamov.
Yeah, but if Abdusalamov knew to go to the body some, it would be even better for him.
Uppercut lands for Abdusalamov inside. They're both making constant contact, and they're both still throwing in big numbers.
These are two very well-schooled fighters.
Huge
Jim.
left hand
That
by
was a
Abdusalamov.
fight
Perez
ending.
has got a good beard.
Yes, he does.
He just missed that. It was a fight-ending left. Abdusalamov threw it with fight-ending intentions.
Oh, good right hook by Perez.
He may not have seen a guy with a chin like Perez, though, up to this point. And there's a danger there that you punch yourself out trying to knock out a guy who's not as knockoutable as the guys you've been in with before. Another great round.